はい。それでは本日2回目の、ライノ講座を始めたいと思います。まずですね、前回、実施しました1回目の講座は、YouTube に、レクチャーの様子をアップロードしてますので、もしまだ見られてないよって方いらっしゃいましたら、ぜひ、また見ていただくようにお願いします。特に公開制限は設けてませんので、いつでもご覧いただけますし、あと、もしお友達とかお知り合いとかで興味持って、いらっしゃる方がいましたら、ぜひ共有していただいて見ていただければと思っています。それで、今日が、その無料公開分の2回目っていうことになるんですが、無料講座はあと1回、計3回、実施しまして、その後、10回セットの有料版の講座を実施していくという予定にしております。Shajib, let me confirm. So we do 3 lessons, free lessons, and after that, the fourth one would be available only for those who pay for the 10 sessions. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then you would do the fourth session after the third session, not repeating from the beginning. Is that right?
I'm not sure. If you want, we can start work from the beginning.
Okay.
Or if you prefer, and almost all the students are from the free classes, then maybe we can continue.
Okay.
Whatever suits.
Okay.
I don't mind.
Okay. Maybe we can open to the participants to decide whether they want to have the lessons from the beginning, or they can just start with learning by watching the YouTube video. And then if everybody have question, Shajib will be able to answer. And もし日本語で質問したい方は、私の方に送っていただければ翻訳してシャジブに伝えることもできますので、基本的には英語でレクチャーをしていくんですけども、バイリンガルで対応していくので、その部分についてはご安心ください。Okay, so we are expecting to have the next free lesson, which is the third free lesson, perhaps on the 21st Tuesday, which is 3 days later. And then we can start the 10 lesson set from the beginning of next month. That's our rough schedule. And we will set up a schedule for maybe we can listen to who are going to those who are going to participate in this lesson, and then we can make a schedule for specifically for the participants. Okay, so let's start the second lesson. Okay, please go ahead, Shajib.
Thank you, Kaz. Welcome everyone in the second class of our Rhinoceros course. Hopefully you have learned something from the previous class. I will continue from the previous lessons. In the last class, we have learned about the interface, where you can find various commands and how you can do various activities in Rhino. We also learned a very important thing, which is Gumball, how you can operate Gumball and do a lot of things with the help of Gumball. So I hope you have learned all those carefully and practiced. So first I will ask the students if anyone have any questions regarding the lessons that I have given in the first class, please feel free to ask. You can ask either in English or Japanese.
前回のレクチャーで分からなかったところとか、聞きたいところある方、ぜひ、発言、あるいはチャットに書き込みをお願いします。Any questions?
Okay. So I hope there is no questions. So I will start today's lesson. So first, I will show you something, then I will continue in Rhino. So Rhino is a very community-based program. You can find a lot of help in the internet and the community forums that is available. So after this course, when you will work in your project or professional works, you will find a lot of problem and face difficulties. So during that time, this part can be very helpful. So this is the Rhino 7 documentation where you can know about all the things that you can do with Rhino. For example, you can see here, this is the create curve, surface, and solid. So if you go draw lines and curve, you can see you can create lines with all these various commands. So for example, if you want to know how you can draw a polyline, if you go inside polyline, you will find all the details, how polyline works. Sometimes it will happen that
Can you share the URL in the chat?
Yeah, sure. I'm not sure if this is available in Japanese. You can look at it. This is the English version. What I was saying. So there are few complex commands in Rhino as well. If you feel problem or you do not understand how it works, that particular command, you can come to this website and there is this small videos and all the things that you need to follow to create anything. So this is one. And there is another website, which is foodforrhino.com. So this is very helpful for finding various apps, materials, models that is already pre-built and plugins. So not just only Rhino plugins, you can find Grasshopper plugins also in this platform. So whenever you need to download something, for example, Lunchbox is a very popular plugin for Grasshopper. If you search for Lunchbox, you will see this plugin, and then you can go to this page, and when you click on download, you will see this, and you need to create an account. This is a free account, just create one. Or if you already have account, you can just log in and see this now become download, and you can download this plugin. And when I go for Grasshopper, then I will show you how to install plugin for Grasshoppers. For now, this is just for information that you can find a lot of things in this community, and even you can ask for various things in this support forum. Okay, that's it for now. I will show you some other necessary links in future classes. So today we will learn how you can draw various types of lines, and from those lines, you can create surfaces. And the next class, we'll learn how you can convert these surfaces into solids and geometry that you want to create. So very common, the first thing you will find under this tab, this line, polyline, line from midpoint, etc. You can also find the same thing under this curve tab inside this line, single line, line segment, etc. So it will become a bit difficult for you to understand from this part. So I will just do it from here. The first thing is single line. As the name said, it's just a single line. You place one point and then you place another point and it becomes a line. Simple. And one shortcut that is very helpful is that F8. When you press F8, you can only draw line perpendicular or perpendicularly. So when you are trying to draw something perpendicular, just press F8. When you are trying to draw something that is not perpendicular, you can press F8 and draw line wherever you want. So this is for single line. Polyline is almost the same thing, but you can draw multiple line segments at the same time, like this. Continuous line. When you are done drawing the lines, just right click and it will end. Another shortcut that you can do, I will remove these lines. When I'm drawing a polyline, something like this. Now, if I want to connect the last and first point, I can just type C and enter. And it will connect the first and last point. It's very helpful. Sometimes you need to close the curve and you can just press this. Okay. And whenever you are actively doing something, you can see in the in this command bar, you have various options. For example, now I'm drawing line. If I go into mode, I can have arc. See? Then again, I can go for another. And if I want to make line, I can just make line. Did you understand this? The last one that I saw short. For example, if I have a room which is kind of curved from here, I can go to this mode and press F8. And again mode. So when you are trying to draw something like this, you can use this technique. Any questions?
ないとこありました？最初にパーペンディキュラーって言ってたと思うんですけど、パーペンディキュラーは垂直ですね。で、最後の途中でカーブ入れるコマンドで、F8? So pressing F8 does what? Sorry. Shajib.
Yeah.
Pressing F8 does what for this?
Yeah, F8 makes everything 90 degrees from each other. When you press F8, you can only draw lines along the axis, either x-axis or y-axis.
Okay. So F8 を押すと垂直方向に操作を固定してくれます。なんかわからないところありますか？今のところで。
Okay, so I'll continue.
Yes.
We have a lot of other options that is sometimes helpful, sometimes not. These two are very important, single line and polyline. Most of the cases, try to use polyline. The problem with line and polyline is when it's a polyline, if you make this a surface, it's a single object. If I do the same thing using line, for example, like this, and select everything and make a surface, it became individual surfaces. So it's not very helpful when everything is a separate object. It's more useful when everything is joined. So when you are trying to make a drawing, it's wise to make polyline. Okay. And other options, something like this, are like you can draw a line from the midpoint. This option, what it does is you can draw a line from midpoint, starting from midpoint. Then we have this normal to surface. We can draw a line perpendicular to this surface. Okay. So it will be helpful if you want to draw a line on a curved surface. For example, if you want a line on this surface, yeah, so it's very difficult to draw a line on this surface perpendicular to it, but using this tool, you can draw a line on the surface. So this kind of other necessary tools that you will find under this tab. I will not go into details everything. You will learn when it's necessary. These are the basics. Okay. So the next topic is the various generic shapes that we need. For example, circle, rectangle, ellipse, etc. So the first one is circle. You can draw circle in various ways. So this is very simple. You select the center point and the length of the radius, and it becomes a circle. Similarly, you can have diameter. So this is diameter. Then you can have 3 points. For example, you want to draw a circle which touches all these 3 surfaces, 3 lines. So this kind of circle you can draw with the help of these steps. And there is ellipse. Ellipse is also very simple. You can draw ellipse like this. You always have the descriptions when you select something. For example, if I select this one, in the command bar, you have this command, like you need to pick the first focus. So this is my first focus. Then it's asking for second focus. So this is my second focus. And then point on ellipse. So this becomes an ellipse. So like this, whenever you select a command, you will always have the options that is asking in the command bar. So always be careful in this command bar and look at it, how it's asking. For example, if I select this one, it's asking for the corner, the first corner and the second corner. So this ellipse is inside this rectangle, something like that. Then we have rectangle. It's very self-explanatory. One corner, second corner, done. So you can also draw rectangle in various ways. For example, if I have a curved line, I'm pressing F8 now, so I can draw a line like this. So if I go for these options, I can draw a rectangle like this, perpendicular this line. Normally, when I draw a rectangle, it's always along the axis, but when I'm taking this option, I can rotate the rectangle like this. Okay, so these are the few options. And then finally, we have this polygon. Whenever you are going for a polygon, it will ask for the number of sides. So when the number of sides is 3, it becomes a triangle. But if I go for 4, I can draw a rectangle. If I go for 5, it becomes a pentagon. Similarly, you can pick any amount of number and it becomes a polygon of that number of edge. So this is the way you can draw various generic shapes.
ここま
So
で
this
どう
is
ですか Sorry.
Okay, Kaz, would you like to explain what and please ask if anyone have any question.
いやいや、質問ある方、大丈夫かな？ OK。じゃあ、肥後はるかさん、いかがですか？大丈夫？
大丈夫です。
理解できてますかね？
はい。
はい、ありがとうございます。OK, let's move on.
Okay. So we learned how you can draw various curves. Okay. So now we will learn how you can edit curves. For example, if you have drawn a rectangle, I'll go to the plan view because it's easier to understand curve. So you can, you might try to do a lot of things with curves. First you draw a curve. Now you want to make these corners spherical, like fillet. So this is fillet. To press fillet, you need to enter the radius of the fillet. So I'm not sure 300 is all right or not. Let's try. It's asking for the select first curve. So this is my first curve. This is my second curve. See, our corner is rounded, but it's very small. So I'll go back. I will increase this to 1000. Now I'm selecting this, and it became rounded. So this is fillet. You will find all the curve edit tools under this tab, but it's difficult to remember what is what. So I usually try to remember the command. It's easier that way. But you can look at this icon and understand a little bit that this one is the fillet. I can do the same thing using this. Okay. And as I have already said, all these individual commands have other options. Like, do I want this to be joined? Do I want the original curve trimmed, etc., etc. So the join is said no for now. That's why. So if I go now, I give join. So now it's joined. If I trim, make it no. Now, if I do the fillet, this is not trimmed. So we have the original curve, and we also have the fillet one. So usually we want this to be trimmed. So make it yes. Then you can do this, and it will be trimmed. Like this. So this is how you do fillet. Okay. There is another similar thing, which is called chamfer, or maybe chamfer, I don't know. What it does is it make this kind of like this angular. Okay, when you have two curves like this, it cuts like this and delete this. Okay. So let me show you that. Let's draw another rectangle. Okay, I will do this. Next one, chamfer. And we have two distance. Two distance as in the first curve distance and the second curve distance. I might want this to be longer and this to be smaller and cut it like this. So you have these options. So you can see there is two options, 1 and 1 it's written. And when I click on that, it's asking for the first chamfer distance. I can give it 2000. Second chamfer distance, I can give it 1000. And then if I cut, you see it's cut like this. So this distance was 2000 and this distance is 1000. So like this. The curve I click on first is the first chamfer, And the one I click second is the second chamfer. Another thing, have you noticed anyone that I am using the last command without clicking anything here or writing anything like this? Okay, this is a shortcut. You can use the previous command by right clicking. Did you understand?
大丈夫ですか？
Whenever I have used a command, if I want to repeat the similar thing or do the same thing again, I don't need to go here and click here or write the command. I can just right click and I can do the last command I did. So this is very helpful for fast modeling. For example, now I will show another thing, which is offset. So offset have a lot of options. For curve, just use the normal offset. And you have this offset distance. Let's keep it 500. Now I can click on this curve and click inside and it will offset. Similarly, if I want to offset this one as well, I don't need to do all those things again. I can just right click and click on this curve. Everyone, have you understood this?
大丈夫かな？右クリックで直近のコマンドがで使えるよっていうのを言ってて、あと、we can also use shift the space instead of
Yeah.
right click.
We can also use space bar to repeat the command.
And enter as well.
Yeah, enter as well. So space, enter, right click. These three are basically same thing for Rhino. You can do almost exactly same things with these three. Right click or enter or space bar.
This is what you really want to learn.
Okay. So we have created a curve and now you know how you can edit various curves. And I have already shown you, you can edit curves and everything with Gumball as well. For example, if I want this offset to be more prominent here, I can just pick on this corner point and move it like this. So this is the way you can edit a curve as well. For example, I can press Ctrl Shift and click on this part and move this, and this can be changed. So this is the various way that you can edit curves. So now we will move on to making surface with these curves. The first thing that we'll show is planar surface. It's very important for our kind of work. So first you need to understand what is planar curve. Okay, planar curve is something which is on the same plane, like on a flat surface. When a curve is on a flat surface, you can only use this command. Otherwise, it will not work. So, for example, this is a curve, and I know this is on a flat surface. Flat surface as in elevation, there is no extrusion. So this is from elevation, it's just a single line. So I know it's flat. So in that case, you can use this command. Just type planar SRF, PLANAR SRF. And what it does, this curve works as a boundary and in between space become a surface. I can repeat this. Selecting this curve, I can write planar surface and this is the surface. Okay. For example, you have drawn two lines and you want to make surface. So if you select just one curve, it will make a surface inside. If you select only this curve, it will make a surface inside. But if you select both this curve and type planar surface, it will make the surface in the intersection part. Okay, but sometimes it does not work. Most of the time it will work like this. But if it does not work, we can do this. You can create planar surface and then you can trim with this inside curve. So selecting something, if I press trim, if I write trim, it will ask for me to object that I want to trim. I want to trim this surface. So I will click on this surface and now it trims. Okay. So similarly, I have this drawing. Now I can press planar surface. I see already I have this intersection part as a surface. And if this is a wall, I can just now extrude and make it a solid object. So usually we have drawings from AutoCAD, or maybe we can draw the curves inside the Rhino. Then we can use this technique to create walls. Okay. So any confusion, anyone? I guess not. This is the way you can create surface from curve, but you also have options to create surface directly. I'll show you that now. In the meantime, if you have any question, please ask.
質問のある方いませんか？全然本当に恥ずかしがらずに、一つでもちょっとでも分かんないことあったらそのままにせずに今確認してください。じゃあ、
Okay.
大丈夫かな？はい。
I'll continue. So this tab is the basic of surface. You also have the similar thing from here. Okay. So let me show you some techniques to create various kind of surface. The first is the very simple one. This one. This is called corner point. So when you click the corner, you can go for 3 corners or 4 corners, and it will form a surface like this. Okay, this is very simple. And this planar curve, this is I already shown you the planar surface. So when I have selected this curve and click on here, it becomes a surface. Very simple. And the next option is surface from network of curves. This is very interesting. When you are creating something very organic, you can go for this option. I will show you an example now. Okay. So one thing I didn't show earlier is how you can draw spline. I mean curve lines. So this curve line tab is here that we didn't show earlier. So the first option is that control point curve. So this is basically what it does. It makes this fluid curve. See, very interesting. You can just go through various points and it will draw a very smooth curve along this point. Something like this. And you can edit this curve by pulling these points. So you can have this various kind of smooth surface. Okay. So if you have this kind of curve points and you want to make a surface to these points, you can use the letter options. The first one is surface from network of curve. So it will not work, I guess. Yeah. So for this, I will need to draw another curve in another direction. I will draw that now. So after that, you can understand how it works. I will make a curve like this. And now if I go to this point, I will have to draw another curve. I will move this curve to these edges. So I will copy one of this curve, this point to this point, and I will join this. So I am kind of making a outline of a geometry that I want to create. So after that, if I select all this curve and go to this option, curve networks, I will have this tab, edge curves. Let's increase this. Otherwise, it is very huge. Let's give it 5. Give it 5. Something like this. So see, we have this very interesting shape just from 4 curve outlines. So I will repeat the same process again to show you how this curve network works. So for curve networks, you need 2 directional curves in each direction. So for this, first, for example, if I go to x-axis, so this is my one directional curve, and I need a second curve direction like this, and then I will draw 2 more curves in the elevation, I guess. So like this. Then I can modify this curve by pulling the points upward direction. So basically, it's kind of making a sculpture. So you are making a outline of the geometry that you want to create. So something like this. It can be anything, doesn't really matter, but something that you want to create. So this is now flat. I will make it like this. This is very large.
That's a bit crazy.
Yeah, it's better to draw these lines in the top view so you can have an idea what's happening. Otherwise, it's go crazy. But for example, we can do whatever we want like this. Okay. So this is the kind of geometry that I want, for example. So I will just select and go to this curve network. And when there is a lot of curve, you can decrease it by increasing this value. So interior curve maybe 1. or maybe higher. Okay, something like that. So I go for it, and we have this kind of crazy shape. So it basically use this curve and this curve as a section and kind of evolves around these edge lines, makes this shape. So it's helpful if you want to make something organic, crazy like this.
Yeah, this is where Rhinoceros really becomes interesting. I think all students can start playing around this sort of tool.
Yeah. So you can have a lot of freedom working with organic geometry when you are using this kind of shapes. So in the next, I will show how you can use loft and why loft is very powerful. Loft is another similar kind of option that you have in Rhino. So for example, I have this very rough shape. I can make some copies and I can make changes in here. For example, let's change the shape. We delete something like this. I will delete this. I will make it small, like this. Okay, let's see. We have these 4 lines. We can select everything and use loft to create a surface that matches and merges all these curves. Okay, so I have various options like loose. What loose does is make the surface smoother, but it does not matches with the curve. You can see there is this gap. When normal, every curve will be touched perfectly. So loft is another option that is very useful to create this kind of organic shapes. So we use network of curves and loft. Is this understanding? I'm not sure.
I think,
Can you guys ask other students if they understood?
なんか質問ありますか？ぜひこの辺はちょっと追いつけるかわからないけど、手を動かしながら頑張ってついていきながらやってもらうと覚えるかなと思います。大丈夫ですか？龍河くんできそうですか？ Okay, let's move on.
Okay, I'll continue. So another thing that we sometimes need, for example, I will work with the solids in the next class, but for today's example, I am using this. So just give me 1 minute. So what I did, I used that solid object to trim this surface and make a hole. Okay. And for example, now you want to close this curve, close this hole. Okay. Now the problem is you cannot use planar surface because this edge curve is not planar anymore. It was on a curved surface, so this edge line is kind of on a curved plane. So we can use, in this case, another command is called patch. So for that, we can select this curve. We can select the curve using what? Pressing Ctrl and Shift. We can click on this and we can select this curve. Okay. And now we can just press patch. And what it does, it closes the hole. So what is the difference between patch and planar surface? Planar surface only works on a planar curve. But when the curve is not planar, for example, if I select this point and give it a height, so this is not planar anymore, right? This is kind of twisted. Now you cannot use planar surface. If I go for planar surface, I write planar surface here, it says no faces were made, curve must be closed and planar. But in this case, I can use patch. It asks for how many divisions I want. You can increase this or decrease this and press OK, and it makes a surface on this non-planar curve. So this is sometimes very useful when you are working with non-planar curves. So we have other options to create this kind of surface. I showed you a few of them. So I have showed you this patch, then planar curve, curve networks, etc. I will show few more. So let's go for this pipe option. So when you have a curve like this, you can select this and use the option pipe. What it does, it makes this line into a pipe. So this. So you see, it becomes a pipe like this. Whenever you have a line, you can make this a pipe. So for pipe, I will write pipe. It's asking for a start radius. You can eyeball it and give it anything you want, or you can write it something like 5,000. Then press enter. It asks for the end pipe curve. You can give it a different radius. For example, say this thick, and I can press enter, and it does not work because it needs to be same thickness if you are working with a polyline. I will show you how you can work with that as well. But if you go for a same thickness, it will work like this. Okay, let's press 2 times enter. Okay, if you have this kind of curve, Rhino 7 introduced a new thing. It's called multi-pipe. Pipe radius, I can give, say, 10,000. So this kind of makes this curve into a very smooth. It was a polyline, but it makes it a very smooth pipe. You can also do something like this. For example, if you have multiple line like this, you can select this and go for multi-pipe, and it will form a joint pipe like this. So this is few more options that you can create surface with. I will show 2 more things in today's class. One is rail. So rail basically does, what it does is, let's go with this line. So something like this, and you can have any kind of section. I will make it 90-degree rotated. Move this to this one, and I'll go for rail. under this surface tab, sweep one rail. We have two options. Well, first, let me show sweep one rail. What it does is it's asking for select rail. So I'll select this rail and sweep shape. I will select this shape and press enter. It's asking for freeform or road light, and you can go with freeform, doesn't matter. And what it does is it kind of makes this shape flow with this curve and make it. Using this, you can make railing, road, and other similar kind of stuffs when you are modeling. Okay, so this is one. And we have this second option is sweep two rails. I will show that as well. So if you have one curve like this and another curve like this, and for example, we have let's go with circle. I'll just rotate this. Maybe a bit more. Something like this. I will move this to one of this. Okay. So if I go for sweep two rail, first rail, it's asking for second rail and sweep shape. So you can see what it does. It uses this shape and it flows along these two curves. So you can understand we have this large gap. So here we have this large circle, and we have a small, we have a smaller gap. When we have again large gap, we have this large surface like this. So this is also a very useful trick to create interesting shapes. So this is one thing that I wanted to show, and another thing is this revolve. So let me show revolve in one elevation. For example, you want to model a shape like a bottle. Okay. So for example, we have this, I don't know, this kind of bottle or flower vase or something like this. In that case, you make this. So what I'm trying to do is like, we have bottle like this, right? Something like this. So what you need to do is you need to draw just one portion of this bottle. This. Okay. Just draw this one. And when you are going for this revolve option, it's asking for the revolve axis. So this is my revolve axis. Then it's asking for the start angle, 0. And revolution angle, it's already by default, it's 360. I will go for 360 and see, we have this bottle-like shape. So if you are trying to model something like this, flower vase, bottle, or something round that revolves shape, so you can use this revolve option. So these are the various options that you can use to create various kind of surface. So anyone, any questions or want to see something else, please feel free to ask me.
どうぞどうぞ喋ってください。どうですか？じゃあ今度こそ龍河君、なんか一言お願いします。
I'm glad to be here again today, and thank you for sharing how to use this right now. And yeah, I have no questions so far. And I thought we can create everything on this. And yeah, thank you.
Welcome.
Any other person? Question or なんかこんなことできますかとか、そういう、こういうのを作りたいんだけどどうしたらできますかとか、ないですか？木下さんとか、どうですか？
これができるかなとかは今のところ思いついてないんですけど、
はい。
このライノセラス使いこなすのにこうやったらより技術上がるよみたいな、その自分で家でできる練習法とかがあれば教えてほしいです。
それは、she's asking、how to practice at home in efficient way. But my advice would be to produce something you want to produce. You try, yeah, unless you try to design something you want to design with Rhinoceros, you don't come up with the questions and desire to solve the problem. So my advice is to design something with Rhino that you want to design. How about yours, Shajib?
Yeah. So the first thing that you should do is try to create the drawing, the basic plan using the Rhino tools. For example, you have this room. Just the best way to is to practice, obviously. And for practicing, just take one of your previous design, maybe a residence or anything that you have designed in your academics or anywhere. So try to make a drawing, like the basic drawing. For example, just draw the rooms and draw everything like this, just using the basic drawing knowledge that you have. For example, draw everything like this. Maybe you have stair, so make copy like this. So try to produce a drawing first. Then using that drawing, you can create the building. So now, as I have the drawing, I can create offset, right? So I will just offset maybe something. 1500. I have created this very large. So try to make drawings like double line drawing. Let me show you quickly. So I have created this double line drawing. Now try to make the walls. For that, just select everything. Use another command that I have not showed yet, which is called curve boolean. So go for curve, then curve boolean. So this one, and now you select all your walls. So this is one of my wall, like this. Okay. So maybe I don't have wall here. So this is all the wall. So Okay. Now, this is a curve. You can just press planar surface. Oh, I have this issue here. So go back. I will do the output one again. It does not happen if you have a proper drawing. I don't have a proper drawing, so this is happening. Let me show you quickly. Yeah, it should work. So I will go for planar surface. I have this surfaces. Where there is my wall. So now under this selection tab, you can select the last created object. So we created this surface in the last command. So the surface is selected. Now give this a height. So I have all the walls of my floor. Now I need to create a floor plate, right? So for that, I can just quickly draw a rectangle and select this rectangle, go for planar surface, give it a thickness like this. Okay. Then again, I can create stairs. So here is my stairs. So I created a surface. I'm just eyeballing the sizes. We will need to input the actual dimension. Now I can just make copies to create the stair. So you already know all these options, right? So using this, try to recreate one of your design in Rhino using the curve and the surface and solid tools. Maybe after the third class, you will know better about working with the solids. It will be easier for you, but start working, at least make a drawing. Then you will learn a lot of things and face a lot of questions that you can discuss in the class.
Thank you. そう、過去にデザインしたものをもう一回ライノで作ってみるっていうのは確かに迷わずに作業ができるのでいい方法かもしれませんね。どうでしょうか？答えになっているかな？もうちょっと違う回答が欲しかったとかあれば教えてください。
ありがとうございます。すごいためになりました。
3D サクッと立ち上げれるのがライノのいいところなので、とりあえず触ってみて、さっきのシャジブのアドバイスみたいに、何か、簡単なもの、本当簡単なものからスタートするといいと思うんですよね。もう家一軒過去に手書きで設計したんだったら、その中の一部屋だけ、例えばリビングルームだけとりあえず作ってみるとか、そんなのでもいいと思いますし、で、ちょっと屋根だけ今日教えてもらったなんかへんてこな曲面の屋根乗せ替えてみようかなとか、そうやってちょっと遊び心を持って使ってもらうと覚えやすいんじゃないかなと思います。Any other question from my advice would be like don't try to be perfect. Like now, Shajib is like making a cover surface for the opening, but you can just roughly start modeling. Just make rough model. You don't have to try making 100% OK model. とりあえず形がなんか立ち上がることの楽しさを感じるっていうのが上達の近道かなと思います。
So it depends how detailed your drawing is. If your drawing have this opening for door and window, you can create the walls excluding the doors. As my drawing didn't have the openings for door, I had to create this manually. But if you have a proper drawing, you will not have this issue.
Or you can do Boolean surface, can you? Can't you?
For example, if this is my door and this is my wall drawing, I will select this, go for curve Boolean, and select only this part, and inner surface, and drawing like this. So I have the opening for door. Now I have this door and ceiling, different layer. So make the drawing properly, so you will have less trouble with the 3D modeling. Any question?
他にご質問ないですか？ゆうきさんとかいかがですか？ Okay, as you have introduced creating organic shape surfaces, I would like to show just one trick for everybody. Is that okay? Just
Yeah, sure.
1 minute. I would like to share you some useful trick for making nice surfaces and nice curvature. Okay, so oops, sorry, not this one. Okay, do you see my screen?
Yeah,
Okay.
you can see.
OK。例えば、さっき、選べないな。今日こういう、カーブを作るツールで、こうやってカチカチカーブ作れるよっていう話があったと思うんですけど、例えばこのカーブ、書いたカーブがちょっと、こうスムーズさが気に入らないとかあると思うんですね。もうちょっとこう、間違えた。例えば、これが、一部ちょっとカーブがきつくなりすぎちゃってて、もっとここ、こうスムーズにしたいんだけどなってなったとするじゃないですか。そしたら、リビルドっていうツールがあるんですけど、リビルド。これをやると、どんぐらいのスムーズさで、カーブを、なんていうんですかね、もう一度作り直すみたいなツールなんですけど、ここに、ポイントの数、今もともと1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10個ぐらいのポイントがあるんですけど、このポイントを例えば5に減らして、もっと抽象的なカーブにしたいよと。すると、こんな感じで、これちょっとざっくりになりすぎたんですけど、リビルドで、もうちょっと逆に、細かく造形したいよって言ったら、数字を増やしたりとかして、こういう操作を繰り返すことで、自分の理想のカーブを探すっていうテクニックもあります。で、同じように、これを、さっきのOK。これを立ち上げて、コピーして、この2つの曲面を曲線をつないで、これをロフトします。ロフトして、こういう、サーフェスができたとします。 で、この形がちょっと形状がガビガビしてきついなと、もっとスムーズにしたいなってなったら、さっきと同じように、これも、リビルドして、で先ほどは2次元だったんですけど、今度は、3次元なので、僕あんまりどれがどういう意味かってあんま考えずに適当にこうやって操作しながら調整するんですけど、だいたいこういう数字を減らしていくとスムーズになってくるんで、こういう感じで、あ、この形いいじゃんみたいな感じで結構僕は感覚的に調整してます。Okay. That's a useful skill, I think, for everybody. I was introducing the revealed to make ideal curvature and surfaces.
Yeah, that's very helpful. And you can do this rebuild option on surface, mesh, everything, basically.
Yeah. Okay, is that about it for today?
I think.
Okay. じゃあ、一応今日の2回目のレクチャーはこのくらい。
I will just show one last thing.
Okay.
As you have already showed the rebuild option. Very interesting. I like to, you can see the screen, right? So we
Yes.
have created this surface in our previous loft option. You can also rebuild this. And when you rebuild, we have these options for U direction and V direction curves. So let's go for 15 and 15. So there is a bit more gap. And we have made a new surface, which have this very smooth curves. And under this curve tool, you have this option, curve from object. And if you go to extract wireframe and select this, press enter, you can extract the curve from this surface. And from here, maybe you can do this.
That's clever.
Yeah.
I didn't
So
know the technique.
you have worked with waffle structure earlier. So this way you can create waffle structure in any kind of shape.
This is great technique. And you can bring this parts information into laser cutter. Then you can immediately create a very organic shape.
And also offset this
actual model.
surface. Set this surface to maybe 500. Give it a thickness. 500 is too low. Let's be 5,000. So this is a very quick waffle structure. So there are a lot of potential of Rhino that you can use. We'll learn in the future classes.
Yeah, this is only the beginning. It's the second class and you got to this far. まだまだライの可能性あるので、ぜひ引き続き第3回も受講していただければと思います。So, can I move on to the conclusion for today?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. ですね。ちょっと前回、今後の、この講習の、進め方とか、その有料になる部分の説明とかがあやふやだったところがあったんですけれども、基本的にシャジブがこれまで、何年かずっと続けてやってきている、そのコースの詳細にのっとってですね、それを 10回コースでお届けしようということになっています。で、Let me share my screen again. 今のところ、この講習の詳細っていうのは、この YouTube の、第1回目の、アーカイブのところに載せているような形になっています。今後、シャジブの方で日本語版のウェブサイトを作ってもらったりとか、そんなこともしたいんですけど、ちょっとまだスタートしたばかりなので、なるべく、こんな感じでちょっと省力化してるんですけど、概要欄のところにですね、詳細が載ってます。で、この、シャジブが運営するArchTwistの、リンクですね、こちらをクリックしていただくと、すべて英語ですけども、ライノセラスのコースの詳細が出てきます。で、基本的にこれをやっていくっていう形になりますので、ご一読いただいて、今ちょっと日本語版も用意している最中なんですけれど、ちょっと並行して英語版の方も見ていただいてですね、今後も、見て、なんていうんですかね、受講していただくかどうかっていうのを検討していただければと思います。で、こちらがそのコースの10回コースの概要になってまして、これが前回、Introduction and Getting Started ということで、書いてます。で、今日が、So today's lesson was this, to this drawing? No. Shajib.
Yeah, that's it for today. Yeah, this
Not
this is the
really.
overall course content, but we covered 2D drawings and modeling surface already
Yeah.
because we will need few more classes in the later parts.
Okay. So this, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9 topics, but it doesn't always relate to each one
Yeah.
of lectures. It kind of overlapping. だからこれが1回目とかこれが2回目っていうわけではないんですけど、だんだんこういう流れでやっていって、ちょっとずつなんていうんですかね、こう前後しながら各項目をやっていって、例えばもうここでパイプスとかあるんですけど、今日もパイプの話もやったし、トリミングとかもやってるんですけど、とにかく10回コース全部やるとですね、最後パースの作り方とかそういうところも出てきて、10回コースやるとライノで初心者脱却できるところまでは来るよというところになってますので、一度ご一読いただければと思います。それで、前回、単発での受講でも可能ですっていう話をしたんですけど、やはりそのきちんとライノのスキルを身につけようと思ったら、この1から10までをしっかり受講していただいた方がいいと思います。私自身も学生時代に受講したときに、ライノセラスを習ったときに、こういう今、シャジブが提供してくれているようなものすごく分かりやすい、論理立てて説明してくれて、最初から最後まで通しで説明をしてくれるっていう機会がなかったので、ですけど、やっぱり、ある程度時間をかけて習っていかないと効率が悪いのと、これで全10回10時間ぐらいなので、全部受けてもらって、というのがいいだろうという判断をしまして、基本的に10回コースで、のご提供という形になります。で、料金なんですけども、学生さんはお金ないと思いますので、格安で9800円で10回コース。で、一般社会人の方は29,800円ということで、料金設定をしています。他にこんなに安く、こんだけ充実した内容で、ライノセラスの講習をやっているところは、おそらく日本にはないと思いますので、検討していただいて、次回の3回目のレッスンも受けていただいて、気に入っていただければ、 受講していただけるといいのかなと思ってますので、ぜひご検討ください。で、ちょっと今日ですね、Google フォームのアンケートをご用意したので、今、こちらで共有させていただきますので、皆さんちょっとまず開いていただき、そこでいけるのかな？ちょっと待ってくださいね。Can you try to open this link?
Which one?
I have sent to everybody in the chat. Can you try to
Yeah.
open this?
Yes, I can open it.
Okay. So it's the questionnaire for everyone to answer. Basically, まずちょっとお名前、それから E メールアドレス、それと、今日のレクチャーの感想、役に立ったか、役に立たなかったか、で、あと10回セットの講座の受講を希望されますかっていうことを書いてますので、それと、今までの講座の進め方に対して、ご意見があればコメントしていただけるようなものになっているので、ですね、これは、もう、お手数なんですけど、必ずお願いしたいです。我々も、皆さんの、技術向上のためにですね、時間を割いているので、ぜひ、必ずご回答いただけると思っておりますので、お手数なんですけど、よろしくお願いします。より良いサービスになるように、シャジブの方でも、私の日本語のサポートの方も、ちょっと充実できるようにしたいと思っていますので、ぜひよろしくお願いします。早い。ありがとうございます。で、ちょっと個別に、コンタクトをこちらから取らせていただく可能性もあります。E メールアドレスを教えていただくので、受講の際、やはりコンタクトが必要になってくるので、第3回のレクチャー終わった後ですね、希望される方にはコンタクトを取らせていただいて、そのお支払いの方法ですとか、そのあたりを、ご連絡させていただきたいと思ってますので、よろしくお願いします。あと、最初にも言ったんですけど、その10回セットの、講習のスタートの時期については、おそらく学生の方が参加の割合のメインになると思うので、皆さんが参加しやすい夏休みの期間とか、そういう時にやった方がいいのかなというのもありつつ、ちょっとご意見を改めて伺えたらなと思っています。一方で、ある程度集中的にやらないと、せっかく覚えたことが頭から抜けちゃうんで、ちょっと忙しい時もあるかもしれないんですけど、ある程度詰め込んでいただいて、今やっている課題ですとか、そういったものに、実際に活用していただいて、でその中で、ちょっと分かんないなっていうことは、レクチャーの、内容と関係なくてもいいので、これどうやったらできるんだろうとか、そういう内容を、できれば英語で直接シャジブに、で英語で厳しかったら私の方に日本語で送っていただけると、回答するようにいたします。これは有料の、講習を受けていただいた方限定で質疑回答をするということです。Shajib, so the question and answer will be applied to those who have paid for the 10 lessons, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But maybe during we provide this free course, you can give answer to the questions if they have any.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And it doesn't need to relate to what you have explained in the lecture, right? For example, if someone wants to create a house and have struggle and then can ask specific question how
Yes.
how to do.
I can help
Okay.
whatever the problem.
Mhm. And we might be able to do some like question and answer session, not lecture style sometimes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That's about it for today. Any question regarding なんかそのレクチャーの進行についての質問とかでもいいので、ちょっと僕らもっていうか、ちょっと慣れてないので、こんなことやるの初めてなんで、ちょっとご意見をいただきたいなと思ってるんですけど。じゃあ、どうしようかな。リアクションでもいいんで、10回セットの講習、興味あるよって方、ちょっとリアクションで手を挙げていただけませんか？しないかな？2人、3 persons, they are interested in joining the lesson. Nice. ありがとうございます。本当9800円激安だと思うので、ぜひ。じゃあ一回レコーディングストップしますね。